Broadcasting live on StarWorldWideNetworks.com. It's time for The Real Deal. Join the ambassador and special guest hosts as they put together great guests and honest commentary on a range of issues. But one of their main topics will be preserving Native American tributes in sports team nicknames. Also avid fans of music and the arts, and they'll always make time for a great song or two. Now, it's time for The Real Deal. Here's your host, the Ambassador.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Real Deal. This is the ambassador at the famous Star Worldwide Networks in the Camelback Towers in beautiful downtown Scottsdale, Arizona. And as always, we are definitely off the reservation, but I can see it from here. With me is my producer, actually, the son of the infamous Dave Pratt, Kyle Pratt. How you doing, Kyle?
Doing good, Ambassador. How are you?
Right. And my co-host, Maggie Yee from Hong Kong. Say hello, Maggie.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you.
Good. And my other co-host tonight, they come into the station from Philadelphia, is Dr. Tony. Hi, Dr. Tony.
Hey, Chief. We're going to talk some turkey tonight.
That's right. Talk turkey tonight, man. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, Maggie?
Yes. I ate too much turkey. Look at my leg, have got problem.
Well, we got some great guests tonight, as always. And don't forget to look at Maggie's jewelry at Phoenix, it's jewelryscottsdale.com. And then you can find her on Twitter at Hong Kong Sugar. That's her Twitter handle. We're going to got some great guests tonight. Don't forget our sponsors, Grace Propane with offices in northern Arizona. Family-owned business, John and Susan Graves. Please buy propane from Graves. They've been supporting me and The Real Deal for a long time, and I'd very much appreciate it if you'd support them. HUMATE International, that's my company, HUMATE.com. You can look at our website. We produce minerals for organic and conventional agriculture in Gallup, New Mexico. We ship worldwide, and if you want to do something, buy it, sell it, distribute it, use it, you can always contact me through the website, and I'll be more than happy to assist you. We have Swisher Air Conditioning. They are donating to a low-income Native American family a unit every month. Please consider being a sponsor on our show. This is important. We really need sponsors. Don't forget to download the new app, right, Kyle?
Yep, and people can find you on iTunes as well if that's more convenient. So.
That's right. So all our shows are archived. We got through Thanksgiving. Last night, Dr. Tony called me, and we went over to the Mauna Lucia. You ever been there, Kyle?
I can't say I have or if I remember.
It's right up across from Camelback Inn at the corner of...
Well, then I probably... Oh, yes.
Lincoln,
my dad did he emceed an event there.
Did he?
So I went there once, yeah.
Well, last night was the annual lighting of the Christmas tree, right, Dr.
Right.
Tony?
It was great.
It was. Huh. I enjoyed it. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we were like a couple of Santa's elves running around there.
Yeah, the lady taking the picture said, "You guys are the best."
We made the party. We brought the party.
Yeah. No, it was fun, and there was all kinds of kids and Santa and
Dennis was hanging with Mrs. Claus.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I was hanging out with Mrs. Claus, knocking down a few shots. Santa's little helper, right? It was cool. Then we went into the bar after it was over, and met some people from Philadelphia, actually.
Hershey.
Yeah, Hershey, and one of them was from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and they're out here visiting. There's a couple, and they'd never been to Scottsdale before, so we were telling them where to go, and they were staying there at the Mauna Lucia. And Mauna Lucia is a great resort, ladies and gentlemen. It's really, really nice. And so I asked him, I says, you're from Hershey, huh? She said, yeah, I grew up in Hershey, but I moved from Hershey to Philadelphia, which I guess isn't that far.
No, 60 miles.
Yeah. But I can remember as a kid going to Hershey, and then because my family had coal mines up in there. and the town of Hershey's where they make Hershey chocolate.
Yeah.
So I swear to God, when you get out of the car or you're driving through town, the whole town smells like chocolate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
wanna
swear to
live
God.
there.
Yeah. And so I asked her, and she says, "Well, we don't make chocolate there anymore." I says, "Really?" I said, "No, they moved. They folded up and moved to Mexico. They moved their plant to Mexico, and they're making Hershey chocolate in Mexico." I said, "You got to be kidding me." She said, "No, that's the truth." So I said, "Well, that'll change when Trump gets in."
Yeah, more chocolate for America.
Yeah, more chocolate for America.
Just what we need.
That's right.
It's Mexican chocolate now. They're putting some cayenne pepper and jalapenos in there. Spice that chocolate up.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, that's for sure. We want to thank all our listeners all over the country, Native Americans and all Americans, coast to coast. I especially want to thank our listeners up in Lancaster, New York. I'm hoping to get Brenda Christopher on in a week or so. Her daughter attends Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio, and she was very worried about her daughter because of this shooting that went on over there Monday or Tuesday.
I think he it was reported as he got in a car and he had a butcher knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the cops took him down with the shooting.
Right, and this is in the ISIS handbook.
I saw today that they claimed responsibility for it, but
Oh yeah.
I haven't listened to the whole thing.
He was from Somalia.
Okay.
He was from Somalia, and he got radicalized, and then he went berserk and started killing people, and he hated. He put on Facebook.
Well, good thing a cop was on the spot.
Yeah, oh yeah. They said he could have really done some damage. Yeah, and this college cop nailed him. But man, that's horrible. But anyway, Brenda Christopher, if you're listening, our hearts go out to you and your daughter. And then again, Wilmington, Delaware, Neshaminy, Pennsylvania. You know where that is?
Neshaminy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
in Bucks County.
Yeah. Well, they went over there. The name changers went over there to change the name.
They're the Neshaminy. Neshaminy is a Native American word.
Right. But they had a school called the Redskins, I believe.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is that? It's up by Philadelphia?
It's 2 miles outside the city limits.
Of Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Goshen, Indiana. Then this halberd, this fake Indian scumbag, he went to California and got him to change the names up there. And, he's having a tough time with Dan Snyder because Dan Snyder told him to go to hell. And Lamar Hunt told him to go to hell. And the people that own the other teams told him to go to hell, that they aren't changing their names.
By the way, Chief, there is another high school in Bucks County, which is actually one of the competitor schools, sports-wise, to Neshaminy, called Council Rock.
Really?
So the name comes from, tribal council.
Okay.
So that sounds pretty benign, but we're going from the more overt Redskins, Cleveland Indians, but sooner or later it'll be Council Rock. You can't say Council Rock anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
How far is it going to go?
Right. The Redskins are playing here this weekend.
They are?
Yeah, playing the Cardinals Sunday.
Well, they're going to beat the Cardinals. Cardinals aren't doing too good this year.
Yeah, and some people called me and wanted to know, where they could get tickets, what's going to be going on. Mm-hmm. And so I gave them kind of an update. And one of them asked me, "Is there going to be any protesters?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "I imagine, I said, I hope Halbritter comes out here because Sheriff Joe Arpaio's dying to meet him."
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he good ass whooping.
Oh, he's going to give him an ass kicking. He's going to Tent City. I told Sheriff Joe Arpaio to put him in Tent City for about 10 years, and let's see if he wants to change his name.
Come out a different man.
Yeah, but you see, he can't do what he did now because Trump's coming in. The political correctness stuff's off the table, and they're going to start slapping people around. So he's going to be pushing a new agenda.
Especially with ridiculous stuff. It's a sports team name. He's
going to be the new agenda, Kyle. It's going to be a new movement, and he's a fake Indian. So the new movement, this is announced right here on The Real Deal. Fake Indian Lives Matter. That's the new movement. Fake Indian Lives Matter. So Halbritter's going to be heading it up. That's his new movement. Elizabeth Warren's going to be on the team. and Susan Harjo is going to be on the team, and it's going to be fake Indian Lives Matter, and we're going to get T-shirts with Hal Britter's pictures on it, and we'll have them for sale pretty soon on The Real Deal. So be sure and check in, but tell everybody you heard it here on The Real Deal.
It's quite a lineup for a team.
That's right, and we broke it right here in The Real Deal. That's why we're number one. We break the big stories here.
Number one, you talk turkey, Chief.
That's right, buddy. I also want to thank our listeners at Channel 3 and all the other channels locally here, and our anchor, Jamie Soretta. She listens to our show all the time, and we like her. American Indian Center, the Great Plains, which I'm a principal in, Johnny Leonard. He's going to probably be coming on next week and talking about some events that happened up at Arrowhead here a week or so ago. I want to have my Che, Peter McDonald, say something in Navajo to all our Navajo brothers and sisters up on the res.
Yate shas toy sezane setelke shije kent neshike no kliniki o shidi Peter McDonald dashne aska zahon slobet ani bashin ado tsakane dashnale ashi dashche todich ini eba esetta shada halya kododi anini eba hanne no kodoy ambassador Dennis Yellowhorse nichi yalticho yolwol akota nini be edeba hanne the real deal wol yo jo koy hashine la ne says yes yadal ti lahada ba lahaba lahadal no di do kot eda ebni na hada kisigi kodo the real deal no ya hal neki da nini jo edeba honne Ako ikena slagi sto banda yolni to banda notra Graves Company will yov la shibe da no sandai da jo kodo kushi ut di ikena sla kodo kuich na long kodo ni yati.
Thank you, Peter. Now we're going to go to my associate Mark Burr, who works out of New York with Jay Stryker. He's going to say something to our listeners in Spanish because a lot of our listeners in southern Arizona, northern Mexico, New Mexico, and California, their language of choice is Spanish. Mark, if you would.
Claro que sí, don Dennis. Nuevamente, bienvenidos a nuestra audiencia de hispanoparlantes y a todos nuestros patrocinadores, Graves Propane de Flagstaff y YouMade Internacional de Gallup, Nuevo México, y a todos los radio oyentes a través de la nación y del Real Deal y nuestro anfitrión, el embajador.
Thank you, Mark. Now my co-host here from Hong Kong is going to say something to our listeners in Asia, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan. Maggie, if you would, please.
Thanks, Chief. 其实这个节目是说美国印第安人的历史文化。Western Post 访问所有美国的印第安人，他们都喜欢 Western Laskin Cannon Sitting 这个名字。但是有的话人要改变这个名字。珍妮斯·瓦马先生为了保护这个名字，他本人做出了好大的贡献和支持。我们也期待每一位的参与和支持。今天在这个节目里还有我们的 Dr. Tony 在这里，还有呢，这个节目呢，我们都是支持Donald Trump，对，我们非常喜欢他做美国的总统。珍妮斯·瓦马先生还有出售有机土壤叫优美，如果有需要打我美国电话6025151073。Thanks so much, Chief, for having me on Real Deal. That is such my honor.
Very good, Maggie. Star Worldwide Networks is the largest, fastest-growing internet radio station in the country. 200 shows, 6 million listeners, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle, tell everybody who's number one here at Star Worldwide.
The Real Deal's number one.
That's right. Yeah! Thank you, and that's all because of you folks and all the fans of the teams that honor Native Americans, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Washington Redskins, Golden State Warriors, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, Chicago Blackhawks, for listening and honoring Native Americans by using the names. And as I said before, Tony, and I think I've told you this, You know what? These people that want to change these names and get rid of the names and get it out of the public mainstream. You know, to me, it's social and cultural genocide. What they're doing to Native Americans, similar to what was in Germany, what was done to the Jewish people. You know, burn the books, get rid of the culture. In 100 years, Native Americans will just be Americans, and then they can go after their land and they can go after their resources. And to me, I really believe that's the long-term play. You know, I mean, I just hate to see that happen, and that's why this show is so important for public awareness and for Native Americans outreach to let them know that they need to keep their names out there, man.
Well, hey, you know, my team's I'm a long-suffering Philadelphia Eagles fan, so
right.
So we're friendly rivals, and it's a tradition to have the Washington Redskins in the NFC East. I don't know what we do without you guys. You know, we just have the Cowboys to try to beat up on. So.
Oh, hey, why didn't you come to my house for Thanksgiving?
Well, that's a good question, Chief. I was just kind of the Chief was kind enough to invite me. I'm from Philadelphia and missing family and friends, and Chief was kind enough to invite me to his lovely home in Paradise Valley for Thanksgiving supper and break bread. But I just had a bad case of Elvis talks about a blue Christmas. I had a blue Thanksgiving. I was just homesick as heck and missing the traditions of Philadelphia, our Thanksgiving Day parade back there, and missing my mom. She's in a nursing home back there, and friends and family, etc. So I just stayed in most of the day and nuked up my turkey leg from Sprouts, which I bought the day before. Thank God for Sprouts. It's a local chain here.
Yeah, they're good.
And but there's a priest friend of mine gave a sermon recently about how do you get out of a nightmare. You wake up.
Right.
That ends the nightmare.
Right.
So I woke up Friday morning, Black Friday, and I said, Tony, you got to get out of this funk. And one of my happy places out here is Sedona. So I said, I'm just driving up to Sedona. That'll put me in a good mood. Higher altitude, you're closer to God, sunshine, red rocks. What more could you ask for? So I just went up there on a whim. And lo and behold, I was feeling better up there in Sedona. But I was coming in off of the I-17 through the village of Oak Creek, and there was a craft fair set up there, which I had been to before earlier in the summer, and had bought some Native American Navajo beaded cuff bracelets from a Navajo jeweler there, and her name is Aradina. And I asked, being a pediatrician, I said, I always wanted to get a Native American cradle board, where you see the little baby all wrapped up and snuggly in the cradle board.
Right.
And she said, well, they're not easy to come by. My grandma made mine, but I'll look into it. So she gave me her business card with her email on it, and I just never got around to following up on it. So I just happened to see the craft fair at 4:30 as I was driving by. It was going to close at 5. I said, Tony, stop by and just say hi to Aradina. Lo and behold, there was the cradle board.
Really?
They had made it just based on faith that I would come back someday. They said, we've had like 3 craft fairs. We've been bringing this cradle board and looking for you. So, well, of course I had to get it,
Right.
I mean, price was no object. I mean,
Sure.
Grandma made this, handmade,
right,
up there on the Navajo reservation. But to me, that was really took me out of my Thanksgiving blues, because the love that they showed, and that they had faith that I would come back someday, and that they made the cradle board, not even knowing that I was definitely around to be a customer for it. And then also, to me, that cradle board, the empty cradle board, made for a baby, I look at it, especially this time of year, and with Thanksgiving is the kickoff of the Christmas season. And, this is the season we're waiting for baby Jesus to come into the world. And I look at that empty cradle board, and to me, it's like the empty manger waiting for that baby. It's the light of the world. So that took me out of my funk.
Well, that's good. That's a great story, man.
But I'm sorry I missed your turkey. I just had Sprouts turkey.
Oh, God, we got enough leftovers. I told Maggie I'm going to make turkey chili this weekend or something.
Sounds good.
Yeah, come on over.
All right, I'll get the turkey leftovers.
Yeah, it keeps. I got invited to the Trump inauguration events. I got an invitation a couple of days ago to go up to Washington, D.C., so I'm going to try to put that together. That'd be kind of fun. The last inauguration that I went to was President Reagan. Oh, wow. Yeah, back in the 80s. And Jane and I and our sister Gloria went to that. And Peter McDonald was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I remember him telling that.
Yeah, and then we went to the inaugural ball, and that was kind of cool. But it was cold as hell, man, in Washington, D.C. in January. Not good.
Yeah. Chief, It's 60 degrees here today, and it's 60 degrees in Philly. I'm wondering why I'm here.
Well, that's why I broke out the fur coat, man.
Thank you.
Okay, Kyle, I want you to call the pilots and get Real Deal Airlines ready to rock, ready to roll, and fly us over to L.A., and we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to have our first guest on. Okay, we're back. My guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, has been on the show before. Her name is Mina Holmes. She was the regional director for the Faith Outreach for Donald Trump. She's also involved with Asian Americans for Donald Trump. She's one of the coordinators. Mina, welcome to The Real Deal. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Good. How's things going in L.A.?
Things are, a little cold here.
Oh, it's cold here in Scottsdale, too. Say hi to Mina.
Mina 你好。
嗨，你好，你好。
你过来 Scottsdale 啊，因为你们那里好冷啊。你在哪里啊？在 LA 吗
LA, yeah.
OK， 我改天我会去LA 找你哦。
Okay, yeah, come visit us here.
Looking forward to. 对。
Yep. Mina, tell our listeners about some of the events that you're going to be involved in over in Washington, D.C. in January.
Okay, well, this is very exciting. And during the campaign, we already knew that for the first time in the presidential election, that there will be a group of pastors who are helping and praying for the president candidate.
Right.
And indeed, he became the president-elect. And this group of people continue on. And they are having a special event, and they will be in Washington, D.C., and they take upon themselves as the responsibility to continue to pray and as a spiritual covering. And so it's called a PorterShield.org if you want to have more detail. They will be praying in Washington, D.C., White House, the major places like Supreme Court, the Congress Hall, all this. And we welcome Christians around the country who believe they are called to pray and they are especially prophetic in nature to come and join us.
Right, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. I'm going to try to make some of those events myself.
Yes. Well, there are a lot of people, pretty famous during the campaign. Dr. Lance Warnow, he's the one that says the opposite. In other words, most people say, no, he's not going to be the president, blah, 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 blah. But Lance has a real good teaching and prophecies about Trump. And so is Rick Joyner, he's going to be there, and Cindy Jacobs, and Dr. Avida King, which is Martin Luther King's niece. And, of course, Dr. Darrell Scott, who was the pastor you'll be seeing on TV a lot.
I've seen him.
Pastor Trump. Yeah. And the Luingo, you know him? Mark Gonzalez and
right.
Herman Mattia.
Right, I've talked to Herman.
And Frank Amedia and Dr. Mosley. And, so we'll be a bunch of, really great spiritual giants. And I'm very proud to be associated with them. They are the executive committee. I'm the working committee.
Right.
So I'm helping to put this together.
Right.
So anyone who is interested in joining us, you can email me at minawholmes@yahoo.com, minawholmes@yahoo.com, and we'll see what kind of arrangement we can have. Because seating is limited, so, so we want to see who is coming. But this is going to be really exciting. For the first time in history, Christians are very involved in the praying and helping the accomplishment of the changes to come. Changes from the Supreme Court, from the really, really left-wing liberal communist style to more of the conservative traditional and bring back the prosperity. In fact, I believe that Trump is going to help to create the most prosperous period of American history. And I believe that he's bringing together a real great team of people. They are still forming, but the people we have so far, they have met our, I won't say approval, I would say our liking. What do you think?
No, that's great. Trump's got this, has this ongoing feud with the media, the mainstream media, They're not going to give him a pass. And, I predict what's going to happen is Trump's going to have his own media network. That's what I think. He'll and I would, if I was him, I'd have my own media network, And then I would tell ABC and all NBC, CBS, and all of them that if they want to be on my network, they got to pay for it. They need to pay for it and let the American people come on for free, but make these media giants like CNN and all them, the media, mainstream media, make them pay for it. That's what I do. I just go bypass the media and just go straight to the American people, and that's what he's been doing. Kyle was telling me, he's going on a tour, a thank you tour. Did you hear about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what did you say, Kyle? What was the what he said?
They were asking about the tour, and he said, and it's like one line was Washington can wait. He's like, yeah.
Washington can wait.
Yeah. And Oregon and California.
Yeah, Washington can wait, man.
Yeah. Thought that was good.
I bet you he comes to Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
he will.
Yep.
We'll get a hold of Sheriff Joe.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. We'll get a hold of Sheriff Joe.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Oh, actually, he tweets. So the tweeting is one way of getting to his people directly. Other ways, I like your idea. I don't know. There's a White House press court, okay, and we do have a system, but we do have to change the system.
Well, the system is the media is corrupt. They have no ethics, They're and I tell people they're not even the media; they're a propaganda machine. And to give you an example, look how many people voted for Trump and how many people voted for Hillary Clinton.
95%.
Yeah, but the people that voted, all they hear is what the media tells them. Mm-hmm. The media is telling them, well, all the polls show that Hillary Clinton's ahead by 25 points, 30 points, and they're just making this stuff up. And the people that the media runs the polls.
We need to change that because the foreign countries, they all watch CNN, and
right.
the CNN they lie about so many things, and they don't think they're lying.
Right. Yeah. That's what it is. That's why people said, well, CNN said that he's so far ahead. Why even go vote? But that's why I say on my show, and this is so important to I want our listeners to listen to what I have to say here. What needs to be done is we have to repeal the Telecommunication Act of 1996. This act gives the media absolute control. Before this act was enacted 20 years ago, the media could not own a newspaper, a radio station, or a television station in the same market. And a lot of my listeners tell me that John McCain was one of the guys that was instrumental in enacting this thing, and I wouldn't doubt it. But the big thing is we need to break up the big media and give it more competition because it was confirmed. It was confirmed 97% of the journalists and the media donated and supported Hillary Clinton. 97%. So what does that leave you? That leaves 3%. So who's that? That's probably Lou Dobbs, Hannity's listeners, Judge Janine, me, the real deal, But and so when Trump talks about draining the swamp in Washington D.C., they need to drain the media swamp in New York City because all these media giants are in New York City, and all these people that are on these talking heads and all these reporters, they all go to the same cocktail parties, they all go to the same restaurants. Yep. They all socialize together, and that's why they're all in bed with Clinton. And
we need to change a lot of communications law, like you said, and we had to break this up.
Right,
it's called a mob.
Right,
break up the mob.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just stop and think about this for a minute. The largest newspaper in the United States, I guess, is the New York Times. Am I right?
I would think.
Oldest. They are the oldest.
Yeah, the oldest. Okay. Who has control of the New York Times? Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim is a billionaire from Mexico. And I've talked to his people before. I mean, this guy, he's just look him up, Carlos Slim. You can Google his name. and he's huge. He's a billionaire. He lives in Mexico, and he owns the New York Times. Now, why in the hell would somebody from Mexico own the New York Times if he wasn't trying to play an angle? You know? So if I was Trump, I'd build that wall and send him the bill.
Yes.
You know, he can afford it.
Well, I'm sure, there will be time, for people like you to send in your recommendation, any idea for reform.
Yep. That's what we need to do. That's the first thing and I'd like to get Claudia Tenney to introduce that legislation. She's going to be coming on the show, and or have somebody introduce that legislation to repeal that Telecommunication Act. Break it up. That's what they did with the banks. They had to break up the big banks.
Yep.
And same thing with these guys. Break it up and drain that media swamp in New York, and then create competition where people can get out there and here's the story.
That's right. You start with one person's introduction of the bill. You can get it passed and change the whole landscape.
Right. Yeah, that's it. But that's why I'm pushing really hard for that, and I mention it on every show that's important, because these political correctness people, and that's how this thing got started with this fake Indian halberdier. The media played it up, and he played it up that these names that honor Native Americans are racist. They're offensive. Mm-hmm. And so the media would run with it. Oh, boy, that's an easy story. Racist. Redskins, racist. Kansas City Chiefs, racist. Cleveland Indians, racist. And so and then that got the ball rolling for this phony.
Well, there are a lot of changes need to be made, and including the one that Donald Jr. was making the statement. Once the Trump become president, sometime down the road, he's going to change the federal law on the Indian land use.
Right.
And that's really, really, really big. And
right.
I think they can change.
Well, yeah, I can tell you exactly what needs to be done there, but I'm not going to show my hand here on the air in that regard. But
not yet.
Not yet. No. So where's Herman at?
Well, he's he was in Washington D.C. This afternoon and having meeting with some big top level Trump people, because there are many things needs to be done. So they talk about it, and it is in the process of being done. And so there are a lot of things I cannot talk about either, but they are good.
Yeah, right. No,
they are good.
Yep, no, that's good.
Good. Thank God. I'm so happy. I wake up knowing that Trump is the elected one, not Hillary Clinton. Let me tell you, I thank God every day.
I'll tell you, it would have been a sad day here at the radio station if she would have got elected.
I'm so happy, but I just want to tell you, he's putting good people one by one. Okay, well, and they are more than Mr. I, and I'm very happy, put it this way. But on the other hand, opposition is also very high. Devil doesn't just go away happy. They are coming back, and they keep hitting left and right. That is why it's important spiritually. We have this potus shield formed as a prayer and the spiritual covering for the presidency and for the policies.
Right.
Helping and make sure that he's keeping up what we believe spiritually that is right. So I do believe that we have very good head start. But the most importantly, thank God miracle really happened. We had no money. Now I can tell you, when we started, there was no money and nobody. And we really is like the David and Goliath, but David has got the little pebbles in the pocket and the kill off the Goliath.
Right.
And Goliath is the quantum machine. And
that's
now
right.
David won. However, David has a lot to do.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good. It's like David and Goliath, really. One of the things did you hear about Carrier air conditioning?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, he's making the announcement tomorrow. The Carrier Air Conditioning canceled their plant. They were going to move their plant to Mexico out of Indianapolis.
Now they're staying. And
now they're going to stay. And he did that, and he ain't even in office yet.
Yeah, you know what? He is not in office yet, but he has made a lot of changes, including a lot of Chinese businessmen. They bought land in America years ago, and it did nothing. But now they see Trump is going to be president. Now they are planning to build up the plant on the land they purchased years ago, and that is going to bring jobs to America right there. This is something behind the scenes people did not know about.
Yep.
That the Asian businessmen are coming back too. So I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, well, Maggie is on WeChat, and she's with the Asians, like you, with your group, the Asians for Trump. And, the Asian community, just like you said, they're very happy to see Trump get in. And the reason why is, they're business people. They're smart. They're business people. And they know that we're their customer. We're probably their biggest customer. Mm-hmm. So it's in their best interest to have their customer healthy and successful, because that'll help their business.
So that they can buy.
Yeah. So they can buy, trade, sell, whatever, And that's business. That's called business acumen. And see, that's what we don't have in Washington, D.C. I was listening to somebody say, well, how's Trump going to get Carrier air conditioning to stay here? It's simple. It's called negotiating. You sit down with them and negotiate.
And also his tax proposal is dropping the corporate tax.
Right. That's a no-brainer. Any businessman in the country should welcome a 15% tax. If you're not, you're not being loyal to your family, your employees, or anybody.
Well, that is why it's very happy that he does not have the mentality of the left-wing socialist, communist people. All they are thinking about, they have a small pie they had to cut up. Okay, but we're not thinking about we have a small pie. We're thinking we can create. If you lower the tax rate, that people can realize their dreams and potentials and make the pie bigger and bigger and more and more. That's what this country needs.
Yeah, these guys that are back there right now, and I say establishment Republicans, establishment Democrats, all those guys get back there, sell us out. They have no business acumen. They couldn't run a lemonade stand. They couldn't sell. They couldn't sell gold at half price. I'm serious.
Yeah, you're right. They had never created a job because they were never in the business sector.
No,
they know.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't have a clue. And I sit there listening to them talk, and they're saying, well, how are you going to get Mexico to pay for the wall? It's negotiating. They're going to want something from us. Mexico wants water out of the Colorado River. They're always wanting more water out of the Colorado River. It's our water, okay? And half of it's owned by the Navajo Nation. Mm-hmm. And so it's a matter of negotiating. Okay, you want Colorado River water? Okay, we'll sell it to you, and you're going to pay for the wall. It's negotiating. It's not rocket science. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Chief. This is Dr. Tony chiming in here on the conversation.
Yeah.
I was at Safeway doing a little shopping, and I was talking to a gentleman in the parking lot who collects the shopping carts and takes them back into the store.
Right.
And I was asking him about the Arizona Cardinals and sort of the backstory, how they made it to Phoenix from St. Louis. And he said that the bottom line was the former owner, I guess is now deceased, Mr. Bill Bidwell. Right. He wanted a piece of the parking action, all the concessions. That St. Louis wouldn't give it to him.
Right.
Well, Phoenix did. But you know what? Like you said, that's business. St. Louis could have made him a better offer. Cardinals would have never left.
That's right.
But that's business.
Yep, that's right. And that, it's wheeling and dealing.
Wheeling and dealing.
My motto when I was growing up is I'm not here to lie, cheat, or steal. I'm here to wheel and deal.
You deal fairly. Okay, you get some, I get some. This is called a corporation. That's why it's called a corporation, business cooperation.
That's
we
right.
create together. We cooperate together.
Yep.
We make something bigger and better and newer.
That's right. And I love my Humate company because it's green, it's organic. I'm proud of it. It's as green as you can get, and I tell people, if you want to use it, fine. I'll teach you how to use it. And I got technical people to show you how to use it, and I'll lead you down the road and hopefully because I want you to make money, because if you're making money with my product, that means you're going to buy more of my product, and so that's how I succeeded in this business.
That's right. You succeed by helping other people.
That's right. You want them to succeed because if they're your customer, you want them to succeed because they're going to come back and buy it from you again, and they're going to tell other people, "Hey, Dennis's stuff really works," And I said, "Yeah, right." And so it's all good, and so I'm so happy and thankful that we have a businessman in Washington, D.C., a lot of people say, well, I don't like some of the things he says. And I says, hey, I don't care. Who cares? We're not here on a popularity contest, you know. We're here because the guy's the real deal. He's like me, the real deal. And we're here to help. We're not here to hurt. And if he can fix it, why in the heck would somebody that's a billionaire want to take this job and he's going to take $1 a year? He's donating his salary to the veterans or wherever, and he's there to help. Mm-hmm. You know, and thank God somebody got in there to help. But I'll tell you, I say it again and again that this was divine intervention.
Amen to that. No kidding. Thank God. Now we are turning a corner. We just have a lot more to do.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to, to see the changes in the Native Americans' lives. Give them the opportunity to also grow, to create, to change the community, to give their children opportunity.
Right.
For jobs and for education.
Right.
They have so much resources under the ground. They have so many things they could do, and looking forward to. But change, you will take time and process. I hope people are patient. We have to be wise about this.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to take time because we dug ourselves into a big hole, man. We're $20 trillion in debt.
Yeah, you're kidding.
I'm telling you, I really, really believe we were sitting, and we still are, on the edge of the cliff, and Trump pushed us back with the help of God. We got pushed back together. Because, as I tell you what, we go over that cliff and there's no looking back, man.
Yeah, well, we will come back. Just that the work is hard.
Yep.
The work is ahead of us.
Yep, and I'm willing to help wherever I can. Mina, we're going to have to go. I want to talk to you offline, so why don't you give me a call when you get time tomorrow?
All right.
Okay?
Okay,
thank you so much for calling in and being on The Real Deal. We all appreciate it, don't we?
Yes, 谢谢你啊。
Yeah, thank you,
Mina.
Yes.
对，对，我们希望下次见到你哦。
Yes, but see you.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
You guys.
Okay, thank you.
Have a nice day. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
What a nice lady. Yeah. Hey, Kyle, we're going to go to another song here, but Tony, you know what the problem with the media and these name changers is? You know what their problem is?
What's the problem?
Can't handle the truth. alright. Under my thumb, there's a sign beats. Of a girl under my thumb, she's the sweetest in the world. It's not bad. Oh yeah. Doing she does just do what she's told. Down to me, the change has come under my thumb. Say it's alright. 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 Take it easy, baby. Say it's alright. Take it easy, baby. Say it's alright. 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 Yeah, that's alright. Take it easy, baby. Take it easy, baby. Take it easy, baby. Take it easy, baby. Say it's alright. 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 Alright, come on. Boo-da-doo.
Okay, we're back. We are gonna. Well, we've got a few more minutes left. Tony, you got anything else you want to talk about? What's the game plan now for you?
That's a good question, Chief. I think we need the prophet that was on before our show to look into the crystal ball. But I'm fixing to do a show maybe here on the Star Worldwide Network.
You should.
Yeah, I'd like to do a little pediatrician kind of back and forth with moms calling in or parents.
I think it'd be a great
moms
idea.
and
Don't you, Kyle?
dads.
Oh, totally. I would love to do the show.
Problems with their
Research.
kids, and I'll fix it right here over the Star Worldwide Network.
No, you should. I think it'd be great. And you'd probably be you'd be a lot easier for you to find sponsors than me because I'm pretty controversial.
Well, I'm kind of off the res too, Chief. You know, I got a few opinions too.
I tell them one thing I'm real firm about, and that's being flexible.
There you go. Well, you know what? I'll just share with you just a little bit of my philosophy about child rearing is that there is no right and wrong, and when you get to people that have dictate regimens, for example. As pediatricians, we might recommend a certain age when to introduce solid foods. However, if a mother introduces solid foods and earlier than we might recommend because it's part of her culture, then what the heck? All she's doing is feeding her kid. The opposite of that is starvation. So,
right.
I mean, you may have a 20-pound 6-month-old, but it's better than starving to death. So I just say parents can do no wrong. You know, my job is to build self-confidence, and there are no bad parents.
That's good. No, I think that's great.
Thanks, Chief.
I like the way you think. You're welcome on this show anytime.
Thank you.
You know that.
I know.
Yep.
We talk turkey.
We talk turkey.
Leftover turkey now.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, we got one more in the queue?
We do.
Tee it up.
I'm in a hurry, I can take my time. we're made together now. Yeah, yeah. Let's spend the night together. Now I need you more than ever. We'll spend the night together now.
Okay, we're at the end of the line. Great show tonight, huh, Kyle?
As always.
As always, great music. What do you think about music, Tony?
I love music. As a matter of fact, I was just telling Kyle I was at an Ohio State-Michigan game watch over the weekend, and Ohio State, I'm a Buckeye fan. They won an epic game in double overtime, and I had to put my 2 cents into the DJ at the end. I said, look, the go-to song when there's an epic victory of a game is Kool and the Gang from Philadelphia. Celebrate good times. That's our go-to song.
Yeah.
Celebration, man.
I love my music. I pick it, and I have some other people help me, but it all goes through me.
You have good taste.
Oh, yeah. I got a good ear for music. I really do. I can't play anything other than a record player. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to our show. I want to thank all of our people in the armed services here, first responders. Oh, I got to tell you a little story. You're going to like this, Kyle. Last night, you remember Dr. Tony? I was talking to the Paradise Valley policeman.
Yes.
Okay, they Monte Lucia is in Paradise Valley. That's the town that I live in. And the Paradise Valley Police Department, whom I know very well, I hire them for security for my house parties. They all know me. We're big buddies. I donate to some of their causes for years. And they were all there, and they were coming up talking to me. There was about 4 or 5 of them at this event last night. And this one of them come up to me, and he says, we caught the woman that was stealing your Trump signs. I said, really? He said, yeah. Because I put Trump signs up in front of my house, and somebody would steal them. So I go put 2 more up, and somebody steal them.
You should have done what people do online is electrocute them. So when they touch them, they fall over.
So anyway, he's telling me, he says, yeah, we caught this lady that was stealing the Trump signs. I mean, what she was doing was she was going all around Paradise Valley, and when she seen a Trump sign, she'd steal it. She'd take it. And the cops caught her. It was some old bag. Really? Yeah, some old bag. They caught her, and I said, "Oh hell, what an idiot!" But she was going around the neighborhood because a lot of our neighbors had Trump signs.
Yeah,
and
I don't care if you had a Trump or Hillary. Just leave people's stuff alone.
Yeah, I mean, you have no right to do something like that. And they caught her. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Now, Chief, be careful what you say about old bags. You look like you were cozying up to Mrs. Santa there last night.
Well, her and I were
on the naughty list.
He's on the naughty list for sure.
Her and I were drinking that spiked eggnog. She was a nice lady. That was a great event. Okay, again, thank all of our people in the armed services and here and abroad for protecting our country. As always, the ambassador is here to tell the truth, deliver the message, support our sponsors, Grace Propane, Swisher Air Conditioning, UMate International. If you want to contact me, yellowhorse.us, email me at info@yellowhorse.us, or you can always call the line 602-540-3000 if you want to support the real deal. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for listening. Kyle, tell our listeners all over the world why the ambassador's sitting here tonight.
To kick ass and save names, Ambassador.
I'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to The Real Deal. Tune in to The Real Deal with the Ambassador and special guest hosts every Wednesday at 5 p.m. and on demand 24/7 right here on Star Worldwide Networks.